Greetings, fellow mortals. The trope of the redeemed villain is one that I've held dear in my heart for a long time. It was first introduced to me through Dragon Ball Z. I remember watching the whole series when I was a kid. It would air in the afternoons when I got home from school. Back then, I didn't even know that there was an original Dragon Ball series. What do you expect from a first grader though, right? Of course, now I can imagine that there are kids out there that only know Dragon Ball Super and haven't watched a bit of Dragon Ball Z. Time is a weird thing, huh? As such, these kids might not have seen Vegeta's full redemption arc, just like I didn't see Piccolo's full redemption arc until I was older. When I was a kid, I thought that Vegeta was the coolest character. Of course, my dumb kid brain never saw the problem of Vegeta killing countless innocent people and then living a normal life on Earth like he wasn't a murderer. I just saw the angry guy that was Goku's greatest rival. But I suppose that's the problem with Vegeta's redemption arc. It's not very redeeming. We grow to like and understand Vegeta as time goes on, but he doesn't really do anything to fix the wrongs that he's already committed. There's his life before living on Earth, and then there's his life after being with Bulma. I know. The explosion where he sacrificed himself to try to stop Boo. It was a great moment, but like I said, it didn't fix any of his past wrongdoings. Perhaps that's why Zuko's redemption arc is so amazing. The show starts out with Zuko appearing as the angry, impatient prince. But by the time the show's over, Zuko has become the single most influential person in the series, even more so than Aang. The key to his perfect redemption arc is that the writers didn't have him do anything that was too unforgivable. We never saw him murder anyone. While his patience was limited, he tended to leave civilians alone when it didn't involve the Avatar. He caused destruction, but it was all in an effort to capture Aang. He didn't even want to hurt or kill Aang. His fights were all done out of his perceived necessity to restore his honor. That is the second key. While we never see him do any truly evil acts, we did see him cause destruction and problems for a lot of the people that associate themselves with Aang. You can understand the protagonist's perception that he is evil, that he is the face of the Fire Nation. Except that he wasn't. His own family had disowned him. All he had was his uncle and a ship to travel the world. It was all done as a punishment to keep him far away from Azula and Ozai. Unlike the show's protagonists, we get to see the pain that Zuko has suffered in his past, the loss of his mother, his inferiority complex to Azula, the abuse at the hands of his father, even his banishment is bitter, and the fact that he was only trying to keep the Fire Nation soldiers safe. He never did anything wrong. In fact, he tried to do the right thing and got punished for it. The first season of The Last Airbender has the odd conundrum of the audience both wanting Zuko to succeed and to fail. We care about him, but we know that his actions are wrong. We want him to stop lashing out in anger just because he's in pain. We want him to listen to his Uncle Iroh. Always listen to Iroh. I think that's a lesson that we all learned from Avatar. Like every aspect of the show, Zuko's arc only improves into Season 2. We see the world punish him even more. He's stripped of his ship, his crew, his royal status, and his money. All that he has left in the world is his uncle and his fighting skills. Even then, we see him try to abandon Iroh. We see him lie and steal. When he does the right thing, he gets turned away because of his origins as the firebending prince. Zuko's journey through the Earth Kingdom shows the best aspects of him. He does care about innocent people. He has a sense of justice. He doesn't like to steal, but will do it to get ahead. And most of all, we see his dedication to finding the Avatar. It's his only option at this point. Living in the Earth Kingdom will only get him caught eventually. His face is too recognizable. But oddly enough, he stopped trying to chase the Avatar the moment that his uncle was injured. Iroh was the key to Zuko's success as a character. Iroh kept his nephew grounded and worked him closer to making the right choices. Their interactions on the way to Ba Sing Se and in the city itself are some of the best in the entire series. And for a short time, we as the audience think that Iroh actually managed to make Zuko give up on capturing the Avatar. A real choice is presented to Zuko. He can go down the path that leads to what he thinks he wants, or he can go down the path to where he needs to be. And he chose poorly. Everyone knows it, even Zuko knows it. At the start of Season 1, siding with the Fire Nation against Aang would have been his easy way to redemption in his own eyes. After seeing the pain that his country has caused around the world, he knows that the Firebenders are the villains in this story, but he can't stop himself. It's what he dedicated himself to, and because of him, Azula won. The Earth Kingdom was lost. And for once, however, Zuko's actions are actually rewarded. He gets the approval of his father. He gets a place beside his sister. He gets the luxuries of royalty. He gets respect and adoration from the Fire Nation. He even gets romantic love in the form of May. But that's not good enough for him, because he knows that he did the wrong thing. Iroh ingrained a conscience into him that can never go away. Zuko is in constant emotional turmoil until he realizes what his path to redemption really is. Can you imagine giving up everything you've ever worked for, your friends, your family, your wealth, your reputation, all to do the right thing? And even then, you get spit on by the people that you're trying to help. Not that I ever blamed Aang, Katara, and Sokka for their reactions to Zuko's attempts to help them. We as the audience remember all of their interactions with Zuko. It was never good. It makes sense that they needed Toph to help convince them. It makes sense that they each needed multiple episodes to accept Zuko. It makes sense that Katara was the last one to embrace him as a friend. I don't think anyone blamed them for how they felt. Which is why the end of Zuko's redemption is so amazing to watch. He is embraced by Iroh and faces off against Azula for the title of Fire Lord. He even pushes his emotionally broken sister to the limit, but he gave up certain victory to save Katara's life. When I was a kid, I didn't know how I felt about that decision by the writers. I wanted Zuko to win the fight. I wanted him to finally have a victory under his belt. But now that I'm an adult, I see the beauty of Zuko prioritizing what really matters. I can see the beauty of Azula lashing out to Zuko's support when she had no one to help her anymore. I can see the beauty of Katara defeating Azula without hurting the princess, when killing Azula and getting revenge on the Fire Nation would have been so easy. She might have done it too, if not for Zuko's influence. Zuko's arc is even more important than Aang's. Unlike the Avatar, the Fire Nation prince stumbles and loses his way all the time. Not that Aang is perfect or never stumbles, but Aang's morality is on the straight and narrow 99% of the time. Following Zuko was just as important as following Aang. Zuko's journey fleshed out the world, the people in it, and the morality of someone who had been indoctrinated by his own country. Because if he saw the truth and could move past the war for a time of peace, then the rest of the Firebenders could too. The Fire Nation didn't have to be destroyed, it needed to be redeemed, and Zuko personified that. Of course, there would be bumps. One of my biggest criticisms of The Legend of Korra was that the show didn't demonstrate the lingering discrimination and hatred towards the Firebenders that would have resulted from the 100-Year War. Because you just know that no one would have forgotten. Just look at our own world. Has anyone forgotten any atrocity or war that's ever happened? No. Are there still people angry about them all? Yes. Am I making a judgment? No, not really. I'm just observing how people are. But the Korra idea is for another video. Instead, I want to focus on Zuko. The writing for his character was so good that I think that it broke people a bit. It seems like everyone that watched Avatar as a kid wants to make their own redemption arc. Just look at things like She-Ra or Steven Universe. My God, Steven Universe. I didn't believe it when people told me that the writers redeemed the genociding space Nazis, but when I went back and watched clips, I was proven wrong. That's the thing about redemption arcs. They have to happen for people who can be redeemed. Mass murderers can't really be redeemed. I'm sorry, Vegeta, I love you, but I realize how terrible that aspect of your writing was. They can realize the error of their ways and sacrifice themselves to save other people, but it never changes what they've already done. Darth Vader's ending doesn't hit as strong after you watch him slaughter children. Orochimaru from Naruto can't ever be the good guy in any way. And the rock Nazis shouldn't be able to be redeemed in Steven Universe. Of course, what do I mean by redeemed? Looking at Zuko, I mean that the person actually changes and the people around them forgive them for what they've done, which is great in fiction, but I think that the biggest problem now is that there is no real redemption in actual life. It is impossible for the world to forget anything you've ever done at this point. Every bad comment, action, or relationship will forever haunt you. There is no forgiveness. And it's not like I'm saying that I'm any better. I have two people in my life that I don't think that I can ever truly forgive. And I'm actually fine with that. It's not like I'm trying to actively hurt them, I just hate them from a distance. Forgiveness, redemption, and new starts are things which don't really exist anymore. Everything is archived now. Your past will always haunt you, and that's shown in current writing. That's why no one writes decent redemption arcs anymore. Not even I've written redemption arc where the character doesn't die or go to jail for the rest of their lives. And I've written, 30 books? Yeah, that seems about right. Anyway, what do you think? Do you think that Zuko has the best redemption arc? Do you think that the Avatar writers made any sort of missteps with them? What's your favorite redemption arc? Do you disagree with my assumption that the concept of redemption is over? Let me know in the comment section below. I really want to hear what you have to say. And thank you so much for watching. If you like my takes on storytelling, please consider subscribing and liking the video. It would really help me out. Also, remember that I'll be self-publishing my novel, Dance of Frozen Death, at the start of 2023. I hope that you will check it out. I appreciate you. Do not despair.